first up, we need to talk about Specialized's new racing shoes. They've just released an update of their S-Works Aries shoe. The original shoe cost £375. Now, Specialized claim the new version, the Aries 2, very good name for that, will give you 7 watts more power than the originals. So they are charging £104 more for them, which is £14.85 per watt.
It's given to you. It comes out of the box when you open it.
Guaranteed.
So that makes them £479 in total, which is over $600. How are they getting you more watts, I hear you ask? Well, Specialized claims the wattage gain is due to improved lactate threshold because the shoes have better footbeds, cleat position, and internal wedges. I'll be honest, that sounds like a load of absolute guff, doesn't it?
Well, they're race shoes, and their marketing says, when you're racing, every second counts. So if you're someone who needs a second, then maybe you'll be interested in £14.85 per watt.
7 watts is huge. That seems odd that they could claim that a shoe would give you a 7% watt gain over their previous shoe? Over the previous shoe?
Yeah. Wattage gain due to improved lactate threshold. Surely that is such a personal measurement. How do you extrapolate that?
That's a mad claim. I want to look at the wording on the website. Is it really just that? Is that what they say?
I think that was in a press release that came to. Also in the press release, they talked about how much all of the pros love them. And apparently Primož Roglič was quoted as saying that the shoes make his bike jump when he pushes the pedals.
Well, that's not what you want, is it?
Well, no, maybe that's why he always comes off his bike. I don't know.
I'm sure all of the Specialized riders that are paid to use them love them. I'm sure it's a really good shoe. Historically, they've always made really good shoes. I'm not going to say that I hate this feature of them, but Bike Fit James definitely hates this feature of them. They're the only non-neutral shoe on the market, or one of the very few, and pretty much their whole range in the performance space has a varus tilt. So it tilts your foot, essentially, built into the shoe. And they don't usually make that much of a song and dance about it, but in their marketing, they make it sound like it's a good thing. James would argue it is not. And he, in his Bike Fits, has to correct it by putting another wedge in to neutralize it, which I think perhaps comes in the box. But he thinks it causes more issues than it solves. And most people don't need that. And if they do need any wedging, it should be carried out by a bike fitter, not by the shoe manufacturer.
I
think
actually
makes sense.
think that a lot of cycling shoes are way too complicated, and they're trying to make people's feet go into weird positions. And I was actually looking at shoes yesterday because I've decided I'm going to buy some new cycling shoes. And I used to have a pair of these a long time ago, and I'm going to go back to them, I think, because they're super wide, it's just a platform. It's like a shoe that is like basic, which then allows you to use whatever insoles you want. You can mold them. And the shoe I'm thinking of is Bont. I think I'm going to get some Bonts.
You could also get the rollerblades. That's where they came from.
Bont?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah. It's like speed skates. You should get some. Imagine how fast you'd be.
Well, I did used to have a pair of weird, small, independent shoes that were not weird, but inline speed skaters. That's what they're called.
We used to sell them at a bike shop I worked at. The Vapor. They still do that? Bont Vapor?
Yeah, I think so.
Bont Riot.
Yeah.
We sold a lot of them.
They've got loads of versions of that stuff now.
And then I think that whoever the distributor was in the UK stopped selling them. So they kind of disappeared from all the shops.
Yeah, they did go for a while. Because Wigo made them like super... Because they had like an aero one with like a cover on the top, which was always super cool. And you can never... Oh, no, you could get
Ahead of its time. 7 watts. 7 watts, apparently.
it was something like 600 or 700 quid even like a decade ago.
Yeah.
And I remember wanting it so bad, but just couldn't get around to buying it.
Back to the Specialized shoe. The new one looks less like a weird boot than the old one, which is a good thing.
You know, as you said, Specialized have made some good shoes plenty of times. There's nothing wrong with the shoes. I'm sure they're great for all-out performance. They have an interesting aesthetic. It almost looks like a trainer, doesn't it? It's like they're almost getting into the kind of Yeezy space of like making something that's unusual, and therefore some people will probably think it's super cool.
Yeah, I don't know. 479 quid, it's not for me.
Well, I don't know. It isn't for me. I do agree with you in that, but I guess the space where I am comfortable with it is if I have the money to buy more comfort, then I would do that.
I find it's the shoes and helmets. I've ended up defaulting to lower end models that just fit really well.
Yeah.
And I think particularly with shoes, the best shoe is the one that fits. And that shoe, as many watts as it saves you, is not going to fit everyone optimally. It's why Lake have 1 million pairs of shoes in their range, and it's really confusing and really badly named. Sorry, Lake. It's complicated. If you find the right one, it's like,
Yeah. I feel like I'm still looking for the one.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel like you can't really say that you're going to get 7 watts more power.
If you're really uncomfortable in them, you're not going to get that.
Yeah, due to
watt saving.
improved lactate threshold. They're comparing their own shoes. They're not saying 7 watts more power over any other shoe.
Yeah.
But surely...
It's nonsense marketing. I would literally ignore that. If you're looking to buy a pair of shoes, just try them. Ideally, ride in them. That's a problem as well, though, isn't it? It's not like a test saddle you can just take. You're going to be wearing out the shoe, but at least an indoor ride and then send them back. I know you were talking about that with the Bonts. Is that an option for most people? I can see why so many people have issues. And on top of that, then we have the insole issue where most people are probably going to need better insoles than the ones that come in a pair of cycling shoes. They're all flimsy and don't offer any arch support whatsoever.
It is bonkers how little arch support there are in cycling
They
shoes.
are pretty much useless.
It's the same in normal shoes as well, though.
It seems worse, though, in... Like, you know, like a proper, more formal shoe will typically have some kind of arch support in it, whereas cycling shoes just kind of they tend to have weird last shapes, and they're like twisted in weird ways, and they force your foot into weird positions and assume that everyone has the narrowest feet in the world. I just find cycling shoe design just so odd.
Do you know what? I am going to, now that I've ragged on Specialized a little bit, I'm going to give them some plus points. The shoes come in small sizes. They go down to size 3. Love to see it. And actually, as I have been investigating more smaller bikes, they go down to a size 44 in a lot of their frames. 44 is small. Me and Jimmy went into a Specialized dealership in Durham and to have a look at what size their 44 was. It is tiny. I still don't think it's right. I think it's maybe almost a little bit small, and then they do a 48. I haven't seen that one yet. Am I going to get one? Probably not. But they do small sizes. And another plus point for Specialized is the man that we spoke to in that dealership spoke to me like I knew what I was talking about when it comes to bikes. And although that sounds like a really obvious thing to say, I have definitely been into bike shops before where I have not experienced that. So, you know, he was talking to a woman and did not just necessarily assume that I was buying my first bike or I didn't know what I was talking about. So I appreciated that.
I think that's more of a testament to Infinity Cycles than it is to Specialized.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, but...
Was that where we bought the alley?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
they were nice.
Yeah, they were great, yeah.
The problem is with that really small bike that we had a look at, though, is although the reach is great, the stack height is so small that it still doesn't work for you. So it's still, even though it's a tiny bike, it still isn't a bike that you can ride.
Yeah, that's the problem that I'm coming up against, I think. That I guess I was watching Bike Fit James videos, and he was saying that especially with women, your torso tends to be a lot shorter than your legs. And I think actually that's what I'm finding the problem with, is just getting the reach correct without it being to the right proportions everywhere else. So
yeah, because your saddle height is only a couple of centimeters shorter than mine, but your reach requirements are significantly less than mine.
yeah, but never mind.
Get you on the jig.
This is it. Yeah. Maybe eventually. I'm plugging away on my my bikes at the moment. I'm up in my time on the turbo, getting ready for spring, winter miles, summer smiles, all of that bullshit. I'm doing it. I'm on the program. Mr. Demotivator's program.
Where on the program? On the program means you're on the gear.
Well, yeah, that too. Every little helps, isn't it?
Why not? There's no UCI here, mate.
Yeah, exactly. What are they going to do? Fine me?
There is the police.
They don't care about that kind of thing, do they?